Hey everyone, Kevin Muldoon here. Blogging is dead. This sounds like clickbait. It sounds like I'm just trying to get attention. But the reality is that blogging has changed forever. The landscape has changed so much that it's almost unrecognisable from what it was like 10 years ago. To kind of backtrack a little bit, I think I need to backtrack to illustrate my point, to kind of get to what I'm trying to convey here. If you look at blogging, started in the late 90s, got popular in the early 2000s. Blogging started as a way to just put down your thoughts online. And at the time, there wasn't many places to do that. You had discussion forums, you could build your own website, or you could start a personal blog. Fast forward a few years, and it started to get a little bit more commercial. I was there at the cusp, just at the beginning, when it was starting to get popular as being a commercial thing, But even when I started, there was I think there was only one premium theme. There was no premium plugins. It was just different to what it was like today, And over the years, the market has changed. It's night and day what it is like now. It's such a premium market now. Blogging has taken on a life of its own almost, And it's really blogging now. It's not just blogging, it's a content management system. It's just a way for people to present information online, to publish content online. Now, as far as saying is the ways the market has changed, it's late 2016 just now. We're just about to move into 2017. And if you go back 10 years ago when I was blogging, the market was so different. And this might sound like sour grapes, but, 10 years ago, when I published an article that was 500 words or 1,000 words, I would get 30 comments, 40 comments, that kind of thing, really easily. And now it's not common, As far as comments go, people don't really comment anymore, People, instead of commenting, they would rather share, or they'll click like, or they'll share on Twitter. They'll give their thoughts there. They won't leave a comment as much as they used to. Now, there's still blogs with lots of comments. There's still people leaving comments. But I think, the landscape has changed so much that it is very different to the way it used to be. There's a lot of blogs that were very popular 10 years ago, and they're still publishing content a lot. And back then, when they were getting hundreds of comments on one article, they are now struggling to get one or two. Just people aren't commenting. Now, this isn't just about comments, it's about traffic as well. It's about readership. It's about connecting to people, really. And, that's what blogging is. It's about connecting with an audience. And as far as connecting with people, it's became so hard to move forward with this kind of thing. I kind of figured this out about a year or two ago, and I'm still slow at realising it, or if you will, I was kind of slow at accepting it. I don't know if you remember this, guys, but I did an article on my blog, and what I did was I looked back at the performance of my blog over the previous 6 months, and what I was doing was, say I was publishing 20 to 25 articles per month. I hired lots of writers, and I was spending $1,000 a month, and I was basically doubling the amount of content I was publishing. I was publishing like an extra maybe 25, 30 articles per month. They were all at least 1,000 words long. Sometimes they were like 2,000 words long, sometimes 3,000 words long. I wasn't writing those articles, but they were really good articles. It was good content, good guides. It was all tutorials and reviews. And, I wasn't expecting an instant success with this kind of thing. But I did notice, looking back, I was trying to, move forward. And then I stopped it a second, and I looked back. And after doing this for, 5-6 months or whatever, I realised that my traffic wasn't budging. And I kind of soon came to the realisation that in the blogging world now, you need to keep working harder and harder just to stand still. You're not moving forward as quickly as you did in the past. And that's why we're seeing a lot of blogs dying. And I'm not just talking about blogs. I mean, blogs are always dying. Blogging has always been the kind of thing that it's so easy to start that people kind of jump in and jump out. But I'm talking about big blogs that aren't blogging as much as they used to and that kind of thing. Now, there's a few reasons for this. One reason would be social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all these other different things, Snapchat, all these different things. They've grown in popularity, and people use those to connect with people. They're not using blogs. So a lot of people who would have become bloggers are not becoming bloggers now because they're just connecting with people through that. But if we kind of just isolate commercial blogs, i.e. people who started blogs just to make money, as far as, well, not just to make money, but to make money from their blog, blogging on a regular basis. There's a lot of people who just stepped away because it became too hard to sustain the blog. It became too hard to make money. And I've been finding this over the last few years as well, that despite working twice as hard as I used to on my blog, I'm making half as much money, or I'm still getting the traffic, but I'm just not monetizing it as much as I should. Now, there's blogging, many people argue that blogging isn't a business. They'll say blogging is a platform to connect to people, to sell services, to connect, to sell things from your business or to push traffic towards another thing. I agree with that. But I also think that blogging can be a business if it's done right. You can make money through advertising, through product sales, all these different things. But it is becoming harder and harder and harder. Now, it's easy to blame other people for this kind of thing, but if you look at the changes that Google has made over the last few years, this has certainly influenced the way that the landscape has changed. And they've done this in a number of different ways. When they clamped down on all the kind of black hat techniques that a lot of these big websites were, like even companies like Disney were using to get traffic to them, they clamped down a lot of these techniques. So what they did was they turned to blogging. And this kind of helped me in a way because people would start hiring me to write for them. Now, they stopped calling it blogging as much and started calling it content marketing. And now every company in the world has got a blog. Many of them are really poor, but they're putting out lots and lots of content there. It's more content going out compared to 10 years ago. I wouldn't even imagine what the figures are like, but I suspect, there's 10 times as much, as many blogging articles getting published as it was 10 years ago. And it's hard to stand out amongst the sea, of all these different articles and all that. The thing is though, like even if I write an amazing article, I could write a 10,000 word article, and yeah, it might get a wee bit, a little bit more shares than usual. It might get a little bit of traffic. But the reality is that I've written some really, really good articles at 5,000 words long that took 2 or 3 days to write, lots of time to research, and they just get lost in the archives. They're not really getting the attention that they should do. And on the flip side, search engines such as Google now, they place so much emphasis on the social media thing. They've actually kind of came full circle with it. Like say they started off and they're like, right, how do we rank these pages? Okay, well, if it's been shared a lot, then it's a good article, right? Okay, so it's kind of come all the way around now and it's full circle to the point where I don't think social media shares is that really big of a factor now as to whether an article is good or not. And a good example of this is like a website such as Mashable. Mashable is an example of a site that has such a big social media presence that they can just publish anything and it will get shares. I once saw an article on their website, and all it was one sentence, that was it, and a YouTube video, and it had thousands of shares. The fact is, because they've got millions of readers, millions of followers on Facebook and Twitter and things like that, they can publish anything and it will immediately get shares, regardless of what's in it, regardless of how much time it took to research. And because of that, they're in a position where they can publish hundreds of articles per day or 50 per day, whatever the frequency is. And really, if you go back to Google's search engine as to what articles should be ranking, if you look at this, there's been a lot of like case studies recently that's showing that all the top rankings now are dominated by a very small percentage of like blogging networks and content companies, that are just publishing content and they're just firing content out. And the thing is, they've got such a presence online that other people just can't compete. Like, how do you compete against, a company that's got like a network of food web blogs and things like that, and they've got millions of subscribers and followers? You just can't compete with them anymore. It really is different to what it was 10 years ago. And as I said, the landscape has changed. Another big thing is that YouTube has become popular. Now, for me, I think YouTube and, and other video services like Vimeo, etc., I think this is a natural extension to blogging. I think this is the new medium for connecting with an audience. It's becoming so hard to stand still with blogging that I think we all need to adapt. I'm the first to say that I've been really slow to realise this. If I look back at what I've done online over the last 17 years or whatever, I was always ahead of the curve. You know, I got in there early with things like domain name trading, domain names, forums, directories. I was there at the start of the poker craze. I was there at the start of, you know, blogging's popularity. I was there at the start when WordPress really got very popular, you know, and I was writing about that as well. And I was always at the forefront of kind of, you know, I wasn't the very first person there, but I was always at the beginning when things were starting to get popular. I was there. But I've been very slow with the YouTube thing, you know, with video, as far as moving forward and incorporating video into what I do online. I've also been very slow at realising that blogging isn't the same as it used to be. Blogging has changed. And I think if we consider what blogging used to be many years ago, I think blogging is dead. I think it really is. Now, I've kind of touched upon this a lot in my blog recently, as far as why I haven't been writing as much as I used to. Now, my blog, my website, kevinmuldoon.com, is still something that I'm going to focus on a lot. But I think I need to change my focus now. So instead of me sitting at the computer and writing 2,000, 3,000 word articles, I think it makes more sense now to publish a video and then, you know, just write a little to complement the video. And I think if you're involved in the blogging world, you know, if you've got a blog, I know there's still successful blogs out there. I know that there's still blogs out there that are making a huge amount of money, that are publishing lots of articles. But I think unless you're in that top 5-10%, and you've got backing of a big company with lots of money behind you, it's very difficult to make a blog a success now. And I would argue that it's perhaps not the best route to go down now if you want to make money online. If you go back years ago, blogging was such a popular way because you could start a blog, you could start publishing articles, and you can start making money and find an audience. But I don't think blogging is the best way to do that now. Certainly not as far as publishing multiple articles per day. And the thing is, from a financial point of view, to really make a blog successful now, you need a lot of money, and you need to start hiring people. You need to start paying writers money and get them to write articles on a regular basis. And again, I know some of this sounds like sour grapes, but I think a lot, if not every single thing that I've been saying here is true. You know, I do think that blogging is dead. I think that we all need to adapt. If you've got a blog and you're writing articles and you're not getting comments, or you're only getting 1 or 2 shares, you really need to take a step back and start thinking, right, what am I doing here? Why am I not building a readership? Why am I not getting comments? And I think it's because we've all been slow to adapt to this. And I think there's a good argument now to even disable comments in your blogs, or, you know, because if there's no comments there, or there's a good argument that we have to kind of adapt our blogs and put more focus on video, more focus on audio, more focus on connecting with the audience in a different way. I think the days of publishing a great 2,000 word article and, you know, is over. Every single day I get emails from dozens of people saying, oh, can you tweet this? Can you tweet this? And that's because all these people are writing articles for, if not themselves, for companies, and they know they need to get shares online, so they're emailing lots of people and saying, begging for shares basically, and saying, please share this article, please share this article. When back in the day, if you wrote a good article, people would just naturally link to it, they would share it, and you would get traffic. But now, the work you need to do to actually get traffic to a good article, it seems like it's 10% is actually going into the article, and 90% has to be social media, marketing and sharing and things like that. And for me, if that's the case, I'll walk away from blogging. I'm not just saying that to be clickbait, but I will. I'm not going to spend all my time being a marketer. I'm not a good marketer. I'm really not good at selling myself. I'm really not good at lying to people about things. I would rather focus on content. So if that means taking a step back from blogging and moving into video, then that has to be the case. You know, I don't want to spend all my time marketing. But I don't think I need to go down that route. I think I need to just adapt. And I think I've been really slow at adapting, so I'm kind of annoyed at myself that I've been, you know, behind the curve. But I think I do need to realise that. I need to accept it. I've been slow to accept it, and I think many of you watching this will be as well. I know you've got blogs. I know you have been slow at realising this. I know you've been plodding along. But it's getting harder and harder to do the same thing, and you know, to work hard, and you're just standing still rather than progressing. And I think we all need to evolve. We need to start incorporating video, audio. We need to do all of this. I'd really love to hear comments about this, guys. I know I've kind of waffled on a little bit. Perhaps I should have been able to clarify some of my points a little bit easier. Excuse me. But I think the core of what I'm trying to say is true. I think blogging, the landscape has changed so much over the last 10 years. It is night and day. And, you know, I've been hitting my head against a wall for the last few years. And I've been working harder and harder, and I've not been progressing in the way that I would have hoped. And I think that's why I'm going to be devoting more of my attention to video and audio. But I will be incorporating them into my blog. And I think that's the best way to go down. I think you can still make money through blogging, but I think you need to incorporate video and audio. But please leave a comment below. I really want to hear your thoughts on this, guys. I think this is something that affects us all. I'd love to hear from those of you who have a blog, and particularly from those who've owned one for a few years. I think you'll probably have noticed, you know, your traffic levels has changed over the last few years. And it's easy to blame others, but I do think the changes made by Google over the last 5-10 years has, at least the last 3-4 years, has really been influential as to how things have changed. You know, it's once the SEO companies started looking for content marketers, you know, the internet was just flooded with articles, and many of them are, I won't even swear there, but they're awful, absolutely awful. And it is frustrating as someone marries, you know, when you spend days researching an article, checking references and all this, and then a poorly written article gets 5,000 shares just because it's on a certain blog. It is frustrating. But it's just the way, it's just the landscape now, you know, it's just the way that, you know, these things work. Unless you've got a big social media presence, then you can't really become a success in blogging now. And I know that has been the case the last 5 years, but anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Please do leave a comment, and please do click subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and please leave a comment here or drop by Riot's forums and say hello. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.